Welcome to Learning Radius. Welcome to Learning Radius Current Affairs 2020-21. In this video, we'll be covering environment and ecology and the 10 topics of environment and ecology. And the 10 topics of discussions are Himalayan Saras spotted in Assam, air pollution in Delhi, Hyderabad wins global tree city status, WCCB receives Asia Environment Enforcement Award 2020, the Indian Rhino Vision 2020, IRV 2020, Earth Day 2021, Meghalaya records India's first bat with sticky disc, India take various steps for conservation of migratory species, NGT air pollution, Indus and Ganges River dolphin. So the discussions are Indus and Ganges River dolphin, NGT air pollution, India take various steps for conservation of migratory species, Meghalaya records India's first bat with sticky disc, Earth Day 2021, Indian Rhino Vision 2020, IRV 2020, WCCB receives Asia Environment Enforcement Award 2020, Hyderabad wins Global Tree City status, air pollution in India, Himalayan Sparrow spotted in Assam. So the first topic of discussion as it is Himalayan sparrow spotted in Assam. A couple of nature guides had spotted the Himalayan sparrow, a god antelope in the 950 square kilometer Manas Tiger Reserve. The sparrow has been spotted for the first time in the Tiger Reserve or anywhere else in Assam. After the sparrow, a medium-sized mammal with a large head, long and coarse hair and mule-like ears, the black-necked crane was sighted in Manas. So here the Himalayan sparrow spotted in Assam, a new species. UPSC can ask fundamental statement related to the same. A couple of nature guides had spotted the Himalayan sparrow, a god antelope in the 950 square kilometer Manas Tiger Reserve. The sparrow has been spotted for the first time in the Tiger Reserve or anywhere else in Assam. After the sparrow, a medium-sized mammal with a large head, long and coarse hair and mule-like ears, the black-necked crane was sighted in the Manas. So this is about the species which is there in the news. So always UPSC asked about species. They can ask, in the last year they asked 4 species and they asked which category these species are, whether birds, reptiles, in that particular manner, UPSC asked a question. So always species are very important. A pair each of such cranes were also sighted. The critically endangered white-bellied hero was also seen in the Ladachar area of the park. Birders has sighted the colorful mandarin duck in the Manguri Matapang wetland near eastern Assam, the Blue Saikova National Park. This duck was last spotted in Assam 118 years ago. So that's all about the new species which was sighted. So a pair of such cranes was also sighted. The critically endangered white-bellied hero was also seen in the Ladachar area of the park. Birders had sighted the colorful mandarin duck in the Manguri Matapang wetland near eastern Assam, Dirbu Saikova National Park. The duck was last spotted in Assam 118 years ago. Now, in all this discussion, one spot is there, that is Manas Tiger Reserve, located in Himalayan foothills in western Assam. National Park also wears many hats for being a wildlife sanctuary, National Park, Biosphere Hotspot, a Natural World Heritage Site, a Project Tiger and Project Elephant Reserve. So Manas is very, very significant. And National Park also wears many hats for being a wildlife sanctuary, National Park, Biosphere Hotspot, a Natural World Heritage Site, a Project Tiger, a Project Elephant Reserve. The park serves as an international corridor for elephant migration between India and Bhutan. So that is regarding the Manas Tiger Reserve. Spread over an area of 500 square kilometers, the park has extensive grassland and is famous for its unique scenic beauty. The park harbors more than 20 endangered species. Considered to be one of the world's rarest species, the golden langur was first spotted in Manas in the mid-20th century. So its golden langur is also a very significant species which is there in the Manas Tiger Reserve. Next discussion is about air pollution in Delhi. In earlier videos also I gave detail about air pollution. Watch that video. Here also air polluted claimed according to a Greenpeace Southeast Asia analysis of cost to the economy. Approximately 54,000 lost their lives in Delhi in 2020 due to air pollution. 6 Indian cities, Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad and Lucknow features in the global analysis. So it's a very serious concern. Air pollution claimed according to a Greenpeace Southeast Asia analysis of cost to the economy. Approximately 54,000 lost their lives in Delhi in 2020 due to air pollution. Key finding: globally, approximately 1,60,000 deaths have been attributed to PM2.5 air pollution in the five most populous cities: Delhi, Mexico, that is Mexico City, Sao Paulo, Shanghai, and Tokyo. An estimated 25,000 avoidable deaths in Mumbai in 2020 have been attributed to air pollution. So the death related to air pollution, as it is very, very high. So you have to have a clarity regarding what is PM2.5 and what is the basic discussions related to. Now, according to the report, the cost estimator, an outline tool that estimates the real-time health impact and economic cost from fine particulate matter air pollution in major world cities, are deployed in a collaboration between Greenpeace, Southeast Asia, IQ Air, and Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air. So there's a term called cost estimator. So according to the report, the cost estimator, an outline tool that estimates the real-time health impact and economic cost from fine particulate matter air pollution in major world cities, was deployed in a collaboration between Greenpeace Southeast Asia, IQ Air, and the Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air. So here the cost estimator also sustained the estimated air pollution related to economic loss. So it's a very big number, 1, 2, 3, 6, 5, 1, 5, 4, 0, 0, 0. So the cost estimator, the term is very, very important. So using real-time ground level PM2.5 measurement collected to IQ Air's database, the algorithm applies scientific risk model in combination with population and public health data to estimate the health and economic cost of air pollution exposure. So here the basic finding, as it is air pollution in Delhi and the death related to air pollution, and at the same time the metros in the country and the death related to air pollution in the metros, and the world major cities and the death related to air pollution in these major cities, and the same time the term cost estimator and what they are telling in connection with air pollution and the death and the issues related to the same, and a term called the CREA, that is Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air, that is coming to discussion. And at the same time, the last line, to show the impact of air pollution related death on economy, the approach used by Greenpeace is called willingness to pay. A lost life year for a year lived with disabilities converted to money by the amount that people are willing to pay in order to avoid this negative outcome. So there's another term called willing to pay. So to show the impact of air pollution related death on the economy, the approach used by Greenpeace is called willing to pay. Willing to pay, a lost life year or a year lived with disability is converted to money by the amount that people are willing to pay in order to avoid this negative outcome. So there is 2-3 terms which is there in discussion. One is willing to pay, second one is cost estimator, third one is CREA, that is Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air, fourth one is PM 2.5 and particulate matter 2.5, and next one is the air pollution and the death related details, as like I mentioned. Next topic is Hyderabad wins global tree city status. Hyderabad city has been chosen as one among the tree cities of the world by the Arbor Day Foundation jointly with Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations Organization. Hyderabad is the only city in the country to have been selected for this recognition in response to its commitment to growing and maintaining urban forestry. So it's very, very significant. So Hyderabad wins global tree city status. Hyderabad city has been chosen as one among the tree cities of the world by the Arbor Day Foundation jointly with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations Organization. Hyderabad is the only city in the country to have been selected for this recognition in response to its commitment to growing and maintaining urban forestry. Now the recognition stands Hyderabad alongside 120 cities from 23 countries, including developed nations such as USA, UK, Canada, Australia, and UK, USA, Canada, Australia, and others. Municipal Administration and Urban Development Department had applied for this recognition based on an online submission on January 31st this year, setting the state government's Harida Haran program and its initiative for the urban forest park, the statement informed. The city was evaluated based on the 5 standards which have been spelled out by the foundation as establish responsibility, set the rules, know what you have, allocate the resource, and celebrate the achievement. So here another term, that is Hyderabad wins global tree city status. So it is tree cities, that is, or tree cities of the world, that is a status. So Hyderabad city has been chosen as one among the tree cities of the world by the Arbor Day Foundation jointly with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. So it's a big appreciation right from the United Nations, right from UNO itself, and that's why Food and Agriculture Organization. The city was evaluated based on 5 standards, which have been spelled out by the foundation as establish responsibility, set the rules, know what you have, allocate the resource, and celebrate the achievement. I told that one. So these 5 standards is something unique and different, right, from the normal way. That is, first is establish responsibility. Second one, set the rules. Third one, know what you have. Fourth one, allocate the resource. And fifth one, celebrate the achievement. Next one is WCCB receives Asia Environment Enforcement Award 2020. WCCB is Wildlife Crime Control Bureau. Wildlife Crime Control Bureau has received the Asia Environment Enforcement Award 2020 awarded by the United Nations Environment Program, WCCB getting the award twice in 3 years. Well, Wildlife Crime Control Bureau has been awarded this year under the innovation category. Earlier, the Bureau had received award in 2018 under the same category. So it is WCCB received Asia Environment, WCCB received Asia Environment Enforcement Award 2020. Wildlife Crime Control Bureau has received the Asia Environment Enforcement Award 2020 awarded by the United Nations Environment Program. WCCB getting the award twice in 3 years. What is Asia Environment Enforcement Award? Asia Environment Enforcement Award publicly recognize and celebrate excellence in environment by government officials and institutions or teams combating transboundary environmental crime. The awards are given to individuals or government organization teams that demonstrate excellence and outstanding leadership in enforcement of national laws to combat transboundary environmental crime. The thematic scope of the award covers any transboundary environmental crimes such as illegal trade in wildlife, illegal trade in chemicals or waste, including plastic, all of which become increasingly significant in the COVID-19 response and recovery era. So Asia Environment Enforcement Awards. So it's very significant. Asia Environmental Enforcement Award publicly recognize and celebrate excellence in enforcement by government officials and institutions or teams combating transboundary environmental crime. So this Asia Environment Enforcement Award, they recognize and celebrate excellence in enforcement by government officials and institutions or teams combating transboundary environmental crime. The awards are given to individuals and or government organization teams that demonstrate excellence and outstanding leadership in enforcement of national laws to combat transboundary environmental crime. So here the point you have to keep, that is, those who are noting transboundary environmental crime. It can be a team, it can be an organization, it can be a government organization, it can be an individual, it can be anybody, but who point out transboundary environmental crime, how to combat transboundary environmental crime. So the thematic scope of the award covers any transboundary environmental crimes such as illegal trade in wildlife, illegal trade in chemicals or waste, including plastic, all of which become increasingly significant in the COVID-19 response and recovery era. Now, what is WCCB? Wildlife Crime Control Bureau is a statutory multidisciplinary body established by the Government of India under the Ministry of Environment and Forests to combat organized wildlife crime in the country. The Bureau has its headquarters in New Delhi and 5 regional offices at Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai, Chennai and Jabalpur, 3 sub-regional offices at Guwahati, Amritsar and Cochin, and 5 border units at Ramanathapuram, Gorakhpur, Motihari, Nadula and Moreh. So here the Wildlife Crime Control Bureau is a statutory multidisciplinary body established by the Government of India under the Ministry of Environment and Forests to combat organized wildlife crime in the country. So that is about WCCB. Now, another important point under Section 38Z or Z of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, it is mandated to collect and collate intelligence related to organized wildlife crime activities and to disseminate the same to state and other enforcement agencies for immediate action so as to apprehend the criminals. So last year UPSC asked about Schedule 6, what is actually Schedule 6 and what is the effect of Schedule 6. If a species as it comes under Schedule 6, what is the effect? That was a statement. So in the same manner, UPSC can ask about what is Section 38Z of the Wildlife Protection Act or 38Z of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. So according to that, it is mandated to collect and collate intelligence related to organized wildlife crime activities and to disseminate the same to state and other enforcement agencies for immediate action so as to apprehend the criminals. To establish a centralized wildlife crime data bank, coordinate actions by various agencies in connection with the enforcement of the provisions of the Act. So that is about the 38Z of the Wildlife Protection Act. Now, the Indian Rhino Vision 2020, IRV 2020, the ambitious Indian Rhino Vision 2020, IRV 2020, came to a close with the release of 2 rhino, an adult male and a female, in Assam Manas National Park, transported from Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary about 185 kilometers to the east. It is believed to have achieved its target of attaining a population of 3,000 rhinos in Assam, but the plan to spread the rhinoceros unicorns across 4 protected areas beyond Kaziranga National Park, Orang National Park and Pobitora could not materialize. So, ambitious India Rhino Vision 2020, IRV 2020, came to a close with the release of 2 rhino, an adult male and a female, in Assam National Park, transported from Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary about 185 kilometers to the east. So, it is about India Rhino Vision, and ambitious India Rhino Vision came to a close with the release. So, what came to a close? It is believed to have achieved its target of attaining a population of 3,000 rhino in Assam. But the plan to spread rhinos unicornis across 4 protected areas beyond Kaziranga National Park, Orang National Park and Pobitora could not materialize. So those 3 locations should be clear in your mind, because IRV 2020 is in discussion. In connection with that, Assam Manas National Park is in discussion. Other than that, Kaziranga National Parks, Orang National Park and Pobitora, as it should be clear in your mind. That is Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary. So Assam had at least 5 rhino bearing area till the 1980s. Better conservation efforts helped maintain the population of the one-horned rhinos or one-horned herbivore in Kaziranga, Orang and Pobitora, but encroachment and poached with the animal out of Manas and Lakwa Wildlife Sanctuary. The lesser known Lakwa slipped under the radar of international watchdog. Manas, in focus for the near extinction of the pygmy hawk, lost the World Heritage Site tag it received in 1985 along with Kaziranga from the UNESCO. So again, another term in discussion is Lakwa Wildlife Sanctuary. The lesser known Lakwa slipped under the radar of international watchdog. Manas, in focus for the near extinction of the pygmy hawk. UPSC asked about the species before. Pygmy hawk lost the World Heritage Site tag it received in 1985 along with Kaziranga from the UNESCO. Now, what is IRV 2020? I told before what is IRV. IRV is in discussion. It is Indian Rhino Vision. So, IRV 2020 was established in 2005. The IRV 2020 partners perform regular monitoring and security assessment and make improvement based on recommendation by both local and worldwide experts. Now, rhino operations in India. Annual operations include providing logistical support and training for wildlife crime enforcement, tackling and monitoring rhinos on a continual basis to ensure their safety, continuing intensive monitoring of this population, growing population by translocating animals to new sustainable habitats, working with local communities to build support for rhino conservation through education and employment, habitat management including invasive species removal. At the same time, the fundamentals of Indian rhinos is significant, or rhinoceros is significant. The great one-horned rhino or Indian rhino is the largest of the rhino species. Indian rhinoceros live primarily in the northern India and Nepal. They primarily graze with a diet consisting almost entirely of grasses as well as leaves, branches of shrubs and trees, fruits and aquatic plants. Greater one-horned rhinoceros are currently listed as vulnerable on IUCN Red List. So, Indian rhinoceros as a species, the fundamentals which I mentioned should be very clear in your mind, that it is primarily graze with a diet consisting almost entirely of grasses as well as leaves, branches, shrubs. So, what is the character of eating? What is the character of living? That is very, very significant. At the same time, the IUCN status too. Next is about a GK Earth Day 2021. Google has come up with an animated video doodle highlighting the importance of planting seeds for a brighter and greener future on the 51st anniversary of Earth Day. Google described that their doodle, showing a variety of trees being planted within natural habitat, underlines one of the many ways in which people can do their part to keep Earth healthy for future generations. So Google has come up with an animated video doodle highlighting the importance of planting seeds for a brighter and greener future on the 51st anniversary of Earth Day. So that is about Earth Day is celebrated worldwide on April 22 annually to raise public awareness about the environment and inspire people to save and protect it. The theme for this year, Earth is Restore Our Earth, which focuses on natural processes and emerging green technologies that can restore the world ecosystem. In this way, the theme rejects the notion that migration or adaptation are the only way to address climate change. According to Earth.org, more than 1 billion people in 192 countries now participate in Earth Day activities each year, making it the largest civic observance in the world. We know it is the largest civic observance in the world. Earth Day is widely recognized as the largest secular observance in the world, marked by more than 1 billion people every year, a day of action to change human behavior and create global, national and local policy changes. Next is Meghalaya records India's first bat with sticky disc. Meghalaya has yielded India's first bamboo-dwelling bat with sticky disc, taking the species count of the flying mammal in the country to 130. The disc-footed bat was recorded in the northeastern states Lilat area near the Nokulam Wildlife Sanctuary, about thousands kilometers west of its nearest known habitat in Myanmar. So Meghalaya has yielded India's first bamboo-dwelling bat with sticky disc, taking the species count of the flying mammal in the country to 130. So it's a new term, that is disc-footed bat, or the disc-footed bat Eudiscopus denticulus, was recorded in northeastern state Lilat area near the Noklilam Wildlife Sanctuary, about 1000 kilometers west of its nearest known habitat in Myanmar. So that is the bamboo-dwelling bat or disc-footed bat or Eudiscopus denticulus should be there in your mind. The team of scientists from Zoological Survey of India and a few European Natural History Museum stumbled upon this very specialized small bat with disc-like pads in the thumb and bright orange coloration while sampling in a bamboo patch almost a year ago. Finding by the Zoological Survey of India has been published in the latest edition of Review de Zoology, a Swiss journal. So that is a name of a Swiss journal. So here the term as such is disc-footed bat, that is Eudiscopus denticulus, or bamboo-dwelling bat. So Meghalaya records it's India's first bat with sticky disc. So that was a discussion about. Next one is India take various steps for conservation of migratory species. India has undertaken various steps for the conservation of migratory species. In February 2020, India hosted the 13th Conference of Parties to the Convention of Migratory Species. So that is another significant discussion. So India hosted 13th Conference of Parties to the Convention of Migratory Species, means you should have complete idea about what is CMS is about, what is fundamental objective and history about. India was able to successfully list Asian elephant, Great Indian Bustard and Bengal floricon to the Appendix 1 of the CMS for cooperative action from the range countries of this species. Last year in 2020, in the exam paper, you can see question by Indian elephant, at the same time about bustard. So in India was able to successfully list Asian elephant, Great Indian Bustard and Bengal floricon to Appendix 1 of the CMS. Obviously, what is Appendix 1 of the CMS is also significant because UPSC asked about Schedule 6 of Indian Wildlife Act. So floricon to Appendix 1 of the CMS for cooperative action for the range countries to this species. India is currently the president of CMS Conference of Parties. For the first time, India has been elected as a chair of the CMS Standing Committee. The government, with the help of scientific communities and civil society organization, has taken many action as was promised during the 13th Conference of Parties. So India is currently the president of CMS Conference of Parties. For the first time, India has been elected as a chair of the CMS Standing Committee. The government, with the help of scientific communities and civil society organization, has taken many action as was promised during the 13th Conference of Parties. Now the marine megafauna standing management guidelines have been launched, which is the first of its kind in the country. National Marine Turtle Action Plan for the period extending from 2021 to 2026 has also been launched. So another significant step is very important. The Marine Megafauna Stranding Management Guidelines has been launched, which is the first of its kind in the country. At the same time, National Marine Turtle Action Plan. So National Marine Turtle Action Plan for the period extending from 2021 to 2026 has also been launched. It focuses on reducing threats, conserving critical habitat, enhancing scientific data, and increasing public awareness. It emphasizes on participatory approach for conservation of marine turtle and its habitats. Next one is NGT air pollution. The National Green Tribunal has constituted an 8-member national task force to combat air pollution and monitor remedial steps to improve air quality. A bench headed by NGT chairperson Justice Adarsh Justice Adar Kumar Gaul, observed that a holistic and coordinated effort at all levels in the government was required. According to the bench, accountability in terms of adverse entries in the annual confidential report and recovery of compensation for non-compliance were imperative for fixing accountability. So it is about NGT. NGT fundamental should be very clear. National Green Tribunal. National Green Tribunal has constituted an 8-member national task force to combat air pollution and monitor remedial steps to improve air quality. So obviously the new current details related to NGT should be clear. At the same time, what is NGT standing for? A bench headed by NGT chairperson Justice Adarsh Kumar Goyal observed that a holistic and coordinated effort at all levels in the government was required. According to the bench, accountability in terms of adverse entries in the annual confidential report and recovery of compensation for non-compliance were imperative for fixing accountability. The tribunal stated India has the world's highest death rate from chronic respiratory disease. NTF will comprise senior officials from the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Petroleum, Transport, Power, Agriculture, Health and Central Pollution Control Board. So NGT, National Green Tribunal, is very significant. At the same time, the new finding, the tribunal stated India has the world's highest death rate from chronic respiratory disease, and the NTF may also monitor enforcement of laid down air quality standard beyond non-attainment cities in other identified air polluted areas where air quality poor and above. So that is the discussion about NGT. So NGT discussion should be very clear in your mind. The last topic of discussion in this video is Indus and Ganges river dolphin. Detailed analysis of South Asian river dolphin has revealed that the Indus and Ganges river dolphin are not one but two separate species. Currently, they are classified as two subspecies under Plandanista gangetica, and this needs a revision. The study estimates that Indus and Ganges river dolphin may have diverged around 550,000 years ago. The international team studied body growth, skull morphology, tooth count, coloration, and genetic makeup, and published a finding last month in Marine Mammal Science. So, Indus and Ganges river dolphin, detailed analysis of South Asian river dolphin has revealed that Indus and Ganges river dolphin are not one but two separate species. Currently, they are classified as two subspecies under Plandanista gangetica, and this needs a revision. The study estimates that Indus and Ganges river dolphin may have diverged around 550,000 years ago. That's the discussion. By analyzing the sequence of ancient DNA out of skulls and skeleton, which were 20 to 30 to even 150 years old, it was quite clear that the Ganges dolphin and Indian dolphin were quite different. So that is the point. From UPSC point of view, this Ganges dolphin and Indus dolphin, right from the study of the DNA, they are such as different. The Indus and Ganges river dolphin are both classified as endangered species by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. The Ganges dolphin is Schedule 1 animal under the Indian Wildlife Act 1972 and has been included in Annexure 1 of Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, that is CITES. So, basic fundamentals related to Indus dolphin and Ganges dolphin should be very clear. Now, it's clearly mentioned that, or by analysis, the sequence, by analyzing the sequence of ancient DNA of skulls and skeletons, which were 20 to 30 to even 150 years old, it was quite clear that the Ganges dolphin and Indus dolphin were quite different. So that's the discussion. So you as an aspirant should have an idea about the IUCN status, about the site status, about the fundamentals of the dolphins in your mind. So that's all for this. That's all in this video. So we'll meet in the next video with the next 10 topics, and with the next 8 topics we'll be covering, we'll be completing environment ecology. After this current affairs series, we'll be starting daily current affairs right from the second week of September, and you will be getting the next series, that is economic and social development and science and technology, in the coming videos too. So that's all for now. At the same time, all the discussions is also related with the material which is provided to you, and all those who purchase the premium preliminary question paper will be having the soft copies of this NDI discussions too, and others can access to this video and listen this particular videos very clearly. And the most important thing, in the earlier video I conveyed, analysis is very, very important. So analysis video, you should have clarity in that. Then only you will understand how UPSC is framing environment ecology questions from the current affairs. So watch 2020 current affairs and watch 2020 environment ecology analysis video. In that analysis video, I am explaining how UPSC is changing a current affair into a beautiful UPSC preliminary question. So watch that, understand that, at the same time watch this video and make a clarity and go to exam hall with that particular confidence. And don't miss premium preliminary question paper, work out that and take an extra edge too. So meet you in the next video. Have a great time. Thank you. Thank you all.